It really is. She should know better. She was the second place in 96. She's been disqualified. And if she gets up alongside Jane and takes her rhythm from her, it will be a disgrace, to be honest. And that's not being parochial at all.
Jane will know that she's been disqualified, but she'll have been told out on the course there. But certainly is very poor form.
I can't imagine why the judges haven't pulled Peroni off the course. I mean, they certainly have. We've been told that she's disqualified. We saw her actually run at one stage and then take off again. So I can only surmise that she's definitely out, and our board indicates she is.
The 2 warnings that Jane has received, one more and she'll be disqualified as well. So she just needs to be very, very cautious. Just concentrate on maintaining contact. Don't worry about the pace. She's got a long lead. She's not racing against the rest of the field at this stage. She's racing against the judges.
Here's the gap coming up, first to second. Wang's in second place, and third place is Plätzer. So Saville's gap over Wang is about 15 seconds, 14, and then Plätzer in third place is about, another 5 seconds away. 1:3.84. That's Lou, who went earlier, and there's Lisa Sheridan Paolini, our third walking out. Kerry Saxby, Lisa was back in the 30s and 40th. Kerry Saxby, the last count was in 8th place, but we've had 2 disqualifications since then, so Kerry's having a great walk. But
well, a good thing for Jane is that she's been in this situation before, having received 2 warnings at the World Championships last year, and had to walk the last 7 kilometres knowing that she was on that knife's edge.
Look, she's almost crossing in front of her here, Peroni. This is...
Well, I'd like to see the judges actually come and physically remove her from the course. It's very poor form from the Italian.
There's Vasco, who was 5th the last time we looked. So you can see the gap to Vasco at 18k. So Jane Saville's what, just over a kilometre to go.
What a wonderful tradition we've had in women's walking, going way back to Sue Cook back in the 80s, who was setting world records, who handed the baton on to Kerry. Kerry continued and set over 30 world records, and now Jane continuing on from the elder statesman from Kerry.
Well, the credibility of this sport is at stake at the moment, I reckon. This sport suffered in the last few years. We saw in Barcelona the leaders get yanked from the track basically and disqualified. This woman has been disqualified as far as we know. She's certainly, there it is, she should be taken from the course at this very moment. They're about to approach the stadium. She can't be helping Jane Saville or anybody else, and the judge has got to get out there and say, you are off right now.
Well, it has to be upsetting and disturbing for Jane to have someone in front of her causing all of these problems here. You can see that she's just passed Lisa Sheridan Paolini, so has been lapped by Jane.
Jane surely knows that Peroni's disqualified too, doesn't she? Because Peroni was in front of Jane when she got that third disqualification.
Yeah. But it still has to be disconcerting to have someone walking alongside you. Much better to have no one there and just to be able to concentrate on her own technique, on her own form. Here's Wang in second place. He's put on a little bit of a burst and is desperately trying to close that gap. Unsure exactly how far that gap is, and here's Kjersti.
She's in 6th place, Dick. Well, she was equal 6th at 18k in a little group there, including 2.578. That's Sanchez of Mexico.
Well,
so
Kjersti will be happy with that. She came in here hoping for a top 10 and dreaming about getting up on the dais, but we've still got a little way to go for Kjersti and the girls in front of her as well, and there is every chance that someone else could be pinned.
Vasco's about 1:10 behind Jane Saville, but surely Jane knows the situation surrounding Peroni.
Well, just go through just recap what the situation is again. There's 8 judges out on that 2K loop. You can see the stadium, so they're heading back towards the stadium now. Each judge can give each athlete 1 warning only, and only the chief judge can actually disqualify an athlete. And the chief judge will be situated close to the main stadium, hopefully to pull out any disqualified athletes before they actually enter the stadium. And we're getting very, very close. You can see the board up there on the right-hand screen. She's actually stopped. Yep.
Well, I don't know what that was all about. I really don't.
I can't believe that she didn't know, so I don't know what the story was.
Well, she
there.
knew deep because she actually ran after she was disqualified for a little while and then took off again. We can feel her disappointment, that's for sure, but the sportsmanship was terrible. But she's seen the board, and Jane Saville here is away from Wang of China and Plätzer of Norway.
Heading right into the stadium now, so she's off the loop, off the 2K circuit, heading back towards the main stadium. And it is only a few minutes, a couple of minutes before she actually enters this stadium.
And the mighty roar comes up as inside this stadium there are close to 90,000 people, and they're seeing Jane Saville on the big screen here. She has 2 warnings. She must be careful. She's lifted her sunglasses. Well, what a surprise. What a moment here. Australia in the gold medal position. There is nothing certain in this sport, so we've got to be careful.
She still has to get past the chief judge. The chief judge will be just outside the main stadium.
It will be a brave chief judge. This is Sydney, Australia, Deacon. Jane Saville is a local girl, but rules are rules.
It's a strange event.
Rules are rules, but look at the support she's getting. Just take it easy. That's what her coaches have been telling her in the last couple of kilometres.
She's well clear that no excuse for her to do anything rash from now on. Just needs to be careful for that steep downhill ramp that goes into the tunnel underneath the stadium. Very, very difficult to maintain form and maintain contact, especially after 20 kilometres of hard bitumen on the flat surface. See Ronnie Weigel, I think it is, just on the right there, telling her to settle down. Just be, you can see the lead that she's got on the 2nd place. Get it, Wang from China. And I think Wang will be quite happy to settle in there for the silver, and she won't be doing anything rash as well. The great thing about this event, Ronnie and the Australians cheering her along the side there. The great thing about this event is that the gaps can't be closed too quickly. So she just needs to maintain her form, maintain her rhythm, maintain her composure.
Gee, Dick, Lauren Burns last night, Jane Saville this morning. We had some surprise packets at these Olympic Games.
Well,
this is one we didn't really expect, is it? We did not. We thought Kathy Freeman was our lone real gold medal chance, and boy, didn't she come through. But Jane Saville is creating a bit of history here, a real piece of Australian sporting history. First time ever the women's 20-kilometre walk. We've had a couple of silver medals. 40 years ago, Noel Freeman was 2nd in 1960. In Rome in the 20K, and then you've got to go back another 40 years before that for George Parker. But well, I wonder what she dreamt about last night. I wonder if she visualised anything like this.
Walking a sensational time as well. 1:28.56 is her personal best, which she's walked this year. And great form coming in.
We are getting so close.
Just get past that chief judge, Jane. And then enjoy. You're well clear. Well and truly clear. Down this steep ramp. Very, very difficult. Her legs, her quadriceps be very stiff and very tight after 20K. Just needs to settle in.
There's Wang.
Wang making a desperate sprint.
But there is only a short, sharp burst up the straight. There is no laps.
100 metres once she enters. Oh! No! Unbelievable.
Well, what do you say? What do you say?
Oh, fortune. What devastation.
Wang is left with the gold medal. It is an unusual sport, this one. Wang is coming in from China.
The devastation that she must be feeling to have got so close, only to have it ripped away. Unbelievable.
Well, this is tough for everybody. I wonder how the Australian crowd will react here. Wang coming in from China, and will get the gold medal, we think. Remember, Segura was first over the line in the men's 20K and received the gold medal. Well, had it taken away from him, he was disqualified. And Wang, the Chinese champion this year, She's going to come home and be the first woman over the line in a 20-kilometre walk that is going to be talked about forever here. And, well, she's had a great performance. We cannot deny that. Plätzer is coming into second placing. And the Norwegian. So I wonder where she was pinged, Dick. I mean, the chief judges obviously positioned himself.
She wouldn't have known that the signal, if the third breach would have been radioed to the chief judge just in the tunnel, and she wouldn't have actually been told of that third breach.
So did it occur earlier, do you think? There's Jane.
Well, it could have occurred anywhere in the last few kilometres.
Unbelievable here.
It's a tough event.
Wang is our winner. Plätzer second. Here's the moment. Oh.
I just hope that it wasn't actually coming down that steep ramp.
Well, Vasco is going to get third, so it's China, Norway and Spain. So Vasco in third place. So Wang has one from Plätzer and Vasco, and Jane Saville, who could taste it and feel it and had it taken away from her after the women's 20k walk. So congratulations for second and third. Kjersti still out there somewhere in about the top 4 or 5, we think. Well, Lou went earlier, and then Peroni went, but at the death, Jane Saville went, and there were 90,000 people in this stadium that were roaring for her. And right at the death, when she was about to enter the stadium, she's been pulled from the course. So our gold medal goes to that woman there, Wang of China.
The silver medalist from the last Olympics, she went, and every time they got the red thing out, I was like slowing down, getting ready for me, and then coming down the tunnel, I saw him touch it, and I went, no, no, and he sort of had to look again, and then he just went, no.
To be told at the gate.
Tell me about it.
What do you need?
A gun to shoot myself.
Is there anything that can console you?
Nah, gold medal. So that's life, you know, that's race walking. Unfortunately, I don't, you know, yeah, I can't say anything. What can I say? It's just bitterly disappointing. I've gone, like every athlete goes through so much, and I've had a really hard preparation. I was injured and I couldn't go altitude training. I spent the whole winter in Canberra training, and it was really tough. And to get, like, you know, 19.5K, I was 19.8K I think I'd got to get DQ'd.
This walker deliberately breaks the rules. You just try your best, and there's a fine line between being within the rules and actually stepping over that line and breaking those rules. And unfortunately today, the judges, in their opinion, 3 of them, thought that I did break the rules.
Jane, is that the last hurdle for you when you come into the final stage? The chief judge is there in a normal race. Is that where you know you're clear once you pass the chief judge?
No, definitely not. You can get reports right up to the finish line. So I was thinking coming down there, even if I win, I'm not going to do any laps until I know definitely. I saw what happened in the men's 20-kilometre walk, and I didn't want that to happen to me. And so I thought ahead and thought, no, I'll just wait for the final decision and wait until I'm all clear, then I'll celebrate.
You must have been feeling pretty good at that stage. Elisabetta Peroni, the Italian, who was out in front of you, also was disqualified. Then she joined back in the race. Now, that was a little bit awkward, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. The first one to the lead pack to get disqualified was actually the Chinese world champion, and I was very shocked that she got disqualified. I wasn't aware that she was on 2 reports, and when she got disqualified, I was thinking, great, that's good for me. And then when Elisabetta got disqualified, I was quite shocked as well, because both of them, from my point of view, have quite good techniques, but I'm not a judge, so I can't really say. But when she was disqualified, then I came round the corner and she'd started again. So I didn't know what was going on. I thought there must have been a mistake, or I wasn't sure. I just was trying to hold her off because I knew we were going to battle it out.
Did she distract you at all? Because it looked as the race went on, she came back into the race, she went past you, she pulled in front of you a number of times. Was it a distraction?
Not really. I was just racing my own race, and I knew I was on two warnings at that stage, so I was just playing it safe. I was happy to get the silver medal if she was back in. I was going to race her for the gold. I was just happy to get a medal. And my coach was running alongside me saying, yes, she's disqualified. And I thought she must have been, because they don't make mistakes like that, the judges. The chief judge doesn't make, they check and recheck and make sure, yes, they have 3 warnings, so they should be disqualified. So I wasn't too worried, but I was a bit, when we came around the corner to go up the hill to head into the stadium and the chief judge hadn't pulled her off still, I didn't know where the chief judge was. I started to get a little bit worried then, but she saw on the board that she had 3 reports, 3 warnings.
After you got your red from the chief judge, you went back in the direction of the race, and you caught up with your coach, and he appeared to be even more devastated than you were.
Yes, Ron was absolutely devastated. He was so angry and upset, and for a guy that's won 3 Olympic medals and was world champion in 1983 to be so devastated, I think he was more devastated than I was at that stage. It hasn't really sunk into me yet, but I spoke to him on the phone before I came here, and he was just so upset. He threw his walkie-talkie down, and he was after whoever the judge was. So, yeah, he's pretty disappointed. He's put a lot of effort in over the years.
And Jane, we're just looking at the pictures now of that moment after you received that red signal from the chief judge. Your feelings here, I guess, must have just been absolutely shattered.
I didn't know what to do. I was actually quite embarrassed. Coming into the stadium, I could hear them cheering, and I could see the top rafters of the stadium, and there were a few Australians on the walkway up to the top of the stadium with Australian flags, and everybody had been so supportive around the course. It was wonderful. And I was just thinking, wow, my hometown, I'm going to win a gold medal. I can't wait to get into the stadium, and for it all to be sort of shattered. It was a big shock. I didn't expect it to happen, and I'm not a very positive person in the best of times, but I was just so shocked that I was thinking, I'm an Australian. It can't happen to me at home. It can't happen to me at home, but, you know, it's all fair in athletics, so.
Jane, it sounds like it hasn't set you back too much.
It hasn't sunk in yet, I can honestly say. I've had great support from everybody, and everybody's really disappointed for me. I actually went out and saw my family. They were on Olympic Boulevard, and there were so many people that recognised me, and I was signing autographs, and all the Australians were just congratulating me, Americans. They were so upset for me. So it's nice to know and that there's people out there that can feel for you, and it was a really lovely gesture of them to come up and say bad luck. But a lot of them were saying, oh, you're the champion in our eyes, but unfortunately I don't have a gold medal around my neck.
Well, Jane, I think it's fair to say that we all shared it with you and we all feel for you, and we wish you luck for the future, and we look forward to seeing you in Athens in 2004. Yeah,
long way till then, but I've got a lot of steps to get over. I've got World Championships next year, so I'll have a break and then get back into training and hopefully come away with a successful meet next year.